What world is my daughter about to be born into? What world is my daughter about to be born into? I've been asking myself this a lot in recent months. I think when you're about to become a parent, and I'm sure this will increase dramatically when my daughter actually emerges from her current womb slumber, becoming a parent really, really grounds you on earth in a way that perhaps nothing else can. It really brings home the fact that, wow, we are in a collective environment of our own creation, and we are bringing millions of helpless, innocent souls into this environment constantly. And what is this environment that we've created? What is this environment that we're bringing these children into? And the more, and this is just brought home at a whole new level, realizations that I've been having for years about the utter ass backwardsness of so many aspects of the medical system and the education system and the food system and the government system and all the systems, all the old paradigms on this planet are basically designed to begin. Whether this was designed consciously or unconsciously doesn't really matter. Due to the illusion of separation, we've basically designed a system that from birth, even from the time when the child is in the womb, begins to traumatize us and constrict us and contract us with just a giant cacophony of bullshit. I mean, during birth, we're traumatized by the soulless, over-drugged, over-technologized nature of modern hospitals and modern birthing processes. And then from a very young age, we're indoctrinated into these religions that have morphed into something completely different than that which was taught by the actual founders, by the actual people that the religions were created around, like Jesus or Buddha or Lao Tzu. The religions have totally bastardized the teachings of these teachers and turned them into dogmas, turned them into doctrines and control systems. So we're indoctrinated into that giant guilt-tripping matrix of bullshit. Then, from a very young age, we're put into the school system, the education system, which basically functions as an elaborate child imprisonment system that tells kids to just sit still in a weird desk and do busy work for like 8 hours a day, memorizing a bunch of bullshit facts and regurgitating them at the appropriate moments, as if this were the way to actually teach children how to be masters of life and be wise beings and follow their excitement and curiosity and live in alignment with their soul. No, that's not what that's designed to do. It's designed to break down souls, break down creativity, break down individuality and originality, and just turn people into cogs in the machine, turn people into conformist drones that are just very good at following orders, very good at being employees, having bosses, standing in line, jumping through hoops. The education system brainwashes us into this entirely mentalized paradigm of living where we're filtering everything through the level of the mind, and we place the thinking mind, the intellect, on this pedestal, and we think that the pinnacle of intelligence is to become some kind of specialist in some kind of jargon-laden, esoteric, intelligentsia-approved, pigeonholed area, rather than to become a holistic master of life who's like an empty vessel and is just animated by the pure, ever-flowing divine intelligence of all that is. We don't teach people how to do that in the slightest. We teach people how to be deeply fear-driven. We are indoctrinated from a young age into this scarcity mindset where the world is a dangerous, scary place in a zero-sum game where there are winners and losers, and you've got to look out for yourself. You've got to be sure to get yours, or someone else is going to get it. You've got to always be watching your back. You know, what kind of programming is this? This is all so ass backwards. We're given all these, we're told to cling very tightly to all these identities with nation states, with sports teams, with religions, with political affiliations. We're taught to view life constantly in terms of us versus them. Who's the enemy? Who's trying to take mine? And how can I watch out for numero uno and my team? And basically, in all of these ways, we are conditioned and deeply indoctrinated into a disempowering system that is deeply rooted in separation, that turns us into mindless worker drones, working jobs we hate and constantly indulging vices to just kind of numb out, or popping prescription pills, constantly eating shitty food that just further poisons us. The food system is just utterly poisoned, and we end up in this kind of afraid, people-pleasing mode where we just end up living a life that we hate, doing shit we hate all the time, because we think that's what success is, and we think that's what it means to fit in and be part of society and please other people. We just do all this bullshit to please other people, and we stay locked into this divisive mentality where we're constantly squabbling with each other, constantly fighting with each other, fighting these petty little trivial fucking stupid fucking social media wars about Donald Trump and Joe Biden and SJWs and whatever the latest fucking distraction is, whatever the latest manufactured distraction is, that is just engineered to keep us locked into division amongst ourselves so that we don't notice that we're part of an elaborate system that turns the vast majority of us into depressed, soul-crushed slaves, mindlessly doing things we hate to pad the pockets of a small number of elite people at the top, meanwhile driving the fucking ecological balance of this planet off a cliff, meanwhile destroying the biodiversity, raping the animal life through factory farming and many other means, destroying the oceans and the air quality and the forests. You know, we are living on a planet that is just glaringly out of balance, utterly disconnected and out of balance. And things have been designed in such a way that it's very, very fucking hard to break out of this. You've got to skin, like Nietzsche had a metaphor of like skinning a hare 77 times, being like nowhere close to the number of times a man has to skin himself if he wants to get down to who he truly is, to what his essence is. You've got to peel back so many fucking layers of programming and conditioning if you want to get down to something real and not just end up a kind of mindless servant of the Matrix. I mean, this shit is fucking crazy. This is fucking crazy. And it's cinematically epic as fuck. It literally is the movie The Matrix and The Truman Show and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, and like, it's fucking way beyond that. It's way more epic than that. And we are, all of us, players in this game. We are all living, breathing players on the hero's journey, and we can participate in this game, and we can start to play a different kind of game. But first we have to skin back all these layers of conditioning. And it starts, again, from birth. It starts with birthing, it starts with parenting, it starts with hospitals, education, religion, governance, law, justice system, food system, healthcare, travel, nation-state setups, currencies, monetary systems, banks, borders. It all has to be reimagined and redesigned. It has all been built from an energy of separation. It has all been deeply encoded with the DNA of separation. That is what runs this civilization. The illusion of separation, the illusion that I can do something to you that I am not also doing to myself. The illusion that we are not all one body, that we are not all utterly interconnected. It goes beyond interconnection. We are all literally the same body. I am not talking to you right now, I'm talking to myself. And this is not me talking to you, this is you in another disguise. You have called forth this message from yourself because for whatever reason you need to hear this right now. So that illusion of separation that disconnection from the truth of divine oneness, the truth that this is all a unified, indivisible, divine playground being animated by an utterly infinite intelligence, that illusion has driven the creation of this entire civilization, which results in untold violence, trauma, and suffering in every fucking direction, addiction and suffering and violence in every direction, as people just kind of hum along and pretend that everything's okay and pretend like, oh yeah, keep America great, because we're all fucking depressed and addicted and suicidal. Yeah, great, just great. And oh yeah, just electing a different guy, one of the two different puppets that are given to us as options, is really gonna fundamentally change things. No, that's not what changes things. You change things by giving a fuck. You change things by caring enough about your own goddamn life and the life of your kids and the life of your community that you start to operate in a different way. You check the fuck out, you turn of the news and all this bullshit. You turn off the news, turn off the distraction machine, check out of social media, you turn inward, you go on a deep fucking journey of self-discovery. You read books, you research and you rethink, you call into question every aspect of life, everything you've ever been taught. You enter the loneliest desert, as Nietzsche called it. You become the lion in the loneliest desert, who is capable of delivering the sacred no to the dragon called thou shalt. The dragon who has thou shalt etched on every scale. The lion delivers the sacred no to that dragon which represents external dictates, which represents everything that society told you had to be and do. The dragon is society, and the lion delivers the sacred middle finger, the sacred no, and says, fuck no, fuck you. I'm not going to mindlessly inherit these values and life scripts. I am going to call everything into question. Every motherfucking thing I am going to call into question. I am going to reevaluate every value for myself, and I'm going to become my own sovereign entity. And then eventually the lion morphs into the child in Nietzsche's parable. First the soul is a camel, a beast of burden, who just mindlessly does what society says. Then the soul becomes the lion, delivers the sacred middle finger in the loneliest desert to the dragon called thou shalt. And then the soul becomes the child, because only the child can deliver the sacred yes to the game of life, the sacred yes, and become the self-propelled wheel, the self-propelled inferno, the self-igniting inferno that is able to just become a self-propelled wheel of creativity and individuality and flow, purely aligned with the intelligence of life, That is what we are being asked to do. We're being asked to go on that fucking epic hero's journey to call into question everything we've built, everything we've ever learned, everything we've been taught, and to burn down the old, to burn off the deadwood, to burn away what is not working. It's not to say we have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's much about the old paradigms that can be integrated into the new paradigm, into the higher synthesis. Yes, much of the old can be integrated into the higher synthesis of the new paradigm, but there's a lot of deadwood that needs to be burned away. What is the highest vision we can dream together? What is the highest vision we can dream? Is it a totalitarian face diaper surveillance state where most people do things they hate all the time and live like slaves and are just indoctrinated into a soul-crushing machine that just conditions them to stand in line and not follow their curiosity and excitement, poison themselves all the time? I don't think so. I think we can do better than that, and we're being invited to discover a grander, more beautiful vision than that. And every individual who has children is given an opportunity to discover that higher paradigm for themselves, given an opportunity to create an environment and raise a child in such a way where they will know the meaning of true sovereignty, mastery, discernment, creativity, power, wisdom as they grow up, where they will be not indoctrinated into a slave matrix, but actually raised to be creative, wise, sovereign, powerful. So that is the opportunity for all of us, whether we are parents or not. We all have the opportunity to extricate ourselves, peel back the many layers of our own programming and conditioning, and create a new type of environment for ourselves in which we can actually rise and spread our wings and flourish and live in alignment with our curiosity and excitement and our heart's desire. That is what we are being invited to do on a collective level, to reharmonize with Gaia, to live in a way that is permacultural and regenerative on this planet, and to rediscover connection to heart, to spirit, rediscover the direct knowing of God as the unified living mystery of our direct experience, as the indivisible tapestry of all of this, of which we are all a part. What world are we bringing our daughters into? What world are we bringing our sons into? Crucial, crucial questions. Amen. Love you.